In 2004, a college student named Mark Zuckerberg created Facebook. It wasn't the first social network. Friendster existed. MySpace was huge. But Facebook went from 0 users to 3 billion users. Same year, thousands of other social networks launched. Copies of MySpace. Improvements on Friendster. You've never heard of any of them. They're all dead. What's the difference? Facebook went from 0 to 1. They created something fundamentally new. Everyone else went from 1 to N. They copied what already existed. Today, I'm breaking down 0 to 1 by Peter Thiel, and why everything you think you know about business is backwards. Insight 1. Competition is for losers. This sounds wrong. We're taught competition is good. Competition drives innovation. Competition makes better products. Peter Thiel says this is completely backwards. Competition destroys profits. Competition forces you to fight over scraps. Think about airlines. Dozens of airlines competing fiercely, constantly undercutting each other on price. The result? Airlines make almost no profit. The entire US airline industry makes less profit than Google alone. Now think about Google. They have a monopoly on search. Nobody competes with Google because nobody can, and Google makes massive profits. Which business would you rather run? The competitive airline losing money, or the monopoly search engine printing money? Thiel's point is simple. Monopolies are what you want. You want to be the only company doing what you do. You want to dominate your market so completely that competition is irrelevant. But we're taught monopolies are bad, and some are. But Thiel distinguishes between good monopolies and bad monopolies. Bad monopolies maintain power through government protection. Good monopolies maintain power by being so much better that competition can't catch up. Google is a good monopoly. They're not blocking competitors. They're just so much better at search that nobody can compete. The goal isn't to compete in existing markets. The goal is to create new markets where you're the only player. Go from 0 to 1, not from 1 to N. Insight 2. Copying is easy. Creating is hard. You can copy what already works. Take existing idea, make it slightly better, compete with existing players. This is going from 1 to N. Or you can create something entirely new, something that didn't exist before. This is going from 0 to 1. Going from 1 to N is easier. The path is proven. But because it's easier, everyone does it. So you end up in competition, racing to the bottom on price. Going from 0 to 1 is harder. The path is unproven. But because it's harder, fewer people do it. And if you succeed, you have a monopoly. China is the perfect example of 1 to N thinking. They're incredibly good at copying and manufacturing at scale. But they struggle to create fundamentally new things. Silicon Valley is the opposite. Great at creating new things. PayPal didn't exist before Peter Thiel created it. Tesla didn't exist before Elon Musk. These were 0 to 1 creations. Most business advice is about optimization. How to compete more effectively. This is all 1 to N thinking. 0 to 1 thinking asks, what can I create that doesn't exist? What truth do I believe that nobody else believes? Insight 3. Secrets are what separate you. Every successful company is built on a secret. A truth that the founder believes, but most people don't. PayPal's secret was that people would trust online payments. Everyone else thought internet payments were too risky. Airbnb's secret was that people would sleep in strangers' homes. Everyone thought this was crazy. Tesla's secret was that electric cars could be desirable, not just practical. Everyone thought electric cars were golf carts. These are secrets, not obvious truths, but truths that founders believed when nobody else did. The question Thiel asks is, what important truth do very few people agree with you on? This is hard to answer. Real secrets are contrarian. They sound crazy. They make people skeptical. If your idea sounds obviously good to everyone, it's not a secret. It's common knowledge. And everyone will try to do it. Real secrets sound wrong, sound impossible. That's why they're secrets. That's why most people don't pursue them. That's why they create monopolies. But here's the thing. Most contrarian ideas are contrarian because they're wrong. The trick is finding contrarian ideas that are actually right. This requires independent thinking. Requires asking what everyone assumes but nobody questions. Most people assume all important truths have been discovered. They assume if something were possible, someone would have done it already. Secret finders go from 0 to 1. They believe there are still important truths to discover, still monopolies to build. Insight 4. Being first doesn't matter, being last does. Everyone talks about first mover advantage, being first to market, getting there before competitors. Thiel says this is wrong. Being first doesn't matter, being last does. Friendster was first social network. MySpace beat them. Facebook beat MySpace. Being first didn't help Friendster. Yahoo was first search engine. Google beat them completely. What matters is being last. Being the final, definitive solution. Being so dominant that nobody comes after you. Thiel calls this last mover advantage. You want to be the company that makes all future competition irrelevant. Google is last mover in search. Facebook is last mover in social networking. These companies achieved last mover advantage. How? By creating monopoly. By being so much better that competition becomes futile. By building network effects and proprietary technology that can't be replicated. This is long-term thinking. Most startups think about next quarter. Last mover thinking is about 10 years from now. Building something that will still dominate decades later. Insight 5. The power law means most things don't matter. Here's uncomfortable truth. Most startups fail completely. And among those that succeed, distribution is wildly unequal. Peter Thiel's venture fund invested in hundreds of companies. But the vast majority of returns came from one investment, Facebook. Facebook returned more than all other investments combined. This is the power law. A small number of things account for the majority of results. This has implications for business. Most people diversify. Spread bets across many options. Power law thinking is opposite. Find the one thing that could be massive. Put everything into that. Don't diversify. Concentrate. This is terrifying. If you're wrong, you lose everything. But if you're right, you win everything. And the math says this is correct strategy. Most startup advice is about hedging, having backup plans. This is one-to-end thinking, playing it safe. 0 to 1 thinking is about concentration, finding your one big bet, going all in. Building monopoly in one market rather than competing in many. The power law means most of what you do won't matter. Most efforts will be wasted. But the one that works will outweigh all the failures. So here's what 0 to 1 is teaching you. Stop competing and start creating monopolies. Don't copy what exists, create what doesn't. Find secrets others don't see. Think decades ahead, and concentrate everything on your one big bet. This isn't advice for playing it safe. This is advice for building something massive, for going from 0 to 1. If this video helped you, subscribe for more breakdowns. And ask yourself, what important truth do very few people agree with you on? That's your secret. That's your 0 to 1 opportunity. The best time to start was yesterday. The second best time is right now.